Good afternoon to all. Welcome to this YouTube channel. Today I will discuss on a particular question, that is Edward II as a historical play. This question is extracted from the play Edward II, written by Christopher Marlowe, one of my favorite writers. So before I'm going to discuss this particular question, I would not like to go into the theme or summary of the play, but I would like to go straight into the question. Edward II is a historical play. So let's start. So Edward II is obviously a historical play. It is dealing with the certain period of English history and with the certain great personalities or historical personalities of that same period. Notably, we have uh, Gaveston, Edward II, younger Mortimer, elder Mortimer. Okay, now Edward II intimate friendship or homosexual relationship with his friend Pierce Gaveston is a historical fact, and also Edward II's conflict with the barons or lords is a historical fact too. So here we have found two kinds of historical fact. I would like to tell you that the intimate friendship between Edward II and Gaveston, it is the main theme or main plot of the play. It is the recurring turning point of the play. In fact, all the events, episodes in the play Edward II are very much the same as we can found in the textbook of history. আরেকটি টাইটেল রয়েছে এডওয়ার্ড দ্য সেকেন্ডের, যেটা হচ্ছে sorry, I am not be able to remember this title now. The troublesome region and lamentable death of Edward II, the King of England, with the tragical fall of proud Mortimer. This play is also known as is a Renaissance or early modern period play, written by, probably I have mentioned his name, Christopher Marlowe. Edward II, a play which is mainly based on the life or region of the King Edward II, and mainly it is focusing on the relationship or homosexual relationship or intimate friendship between the King Edward II and his friend Gaveston. It was written in 1593 by Christopher Marlowe. Along with this, it is focuses on the tragic death of King Edward II on the orders of younger Mortimer. The chief source of the play is Holinshed Chronicles. The play presented political power, conflict, which after that become the theme of rise and fall. The main plot of this play is the conflict between the king and the barons. The barons in Marlowe's plays Edward II considered a powerful group of peoples who come into conflict with the King Edward II, who is the King of England. Historical reasons. If we are going to take the historical reasons for this conflict between the barons and the king, it were several. But I think in this play, this conflict is due to one cause only. Uh, that cause is probably all of you know that the king's infatuation with a man called Gaveston, okay, who has been playmate friend of King Edward II. Gaveston was the childhood friend of King Edward II. In his childhood days, as Gaveston becomes the reason for the King Edward II's of negligency of the royal affairs, his influence over the king or prince becomes the bad effect on the king's life. So King Edward II first banished from his England to France, Gaveston. But when King Edward I died, after that King Edward II became the king of the England and recalled his childhood friends Gaveston to England. From his exile to France, after comeback Gaveston in England, on his coming, the barons feel enraged and envious by the decision of the king to come back his friend Gaveston into the England. All the parents becomes very much jealousy on seeing the intimate friend or friendship between the king and the Gaveston. The parents becomes more even stronger when they learn about the king's and Gaveston insulting treatment of the Bishop of Coventry, who was the chief advisor of King Edward II. Sorry, he was the chief advisor of King Edward I, not Edward II. The Bishop of Coventry. And the Bishop of Coventry had originally responsible for the banishment of Gaveston by King Edward I. So here he is seen to be disregarded, disrespected or humiliated by the King Edward II and his friend Gaveston. After that, the barons conflict against the king. They feel even more offended when Queen Isabella tell them the Edward II gained the favor and love his friend Gaveston, and now Edward II is very much fond of his friend Gaveston and neglects the queen very much. After that, they all combine together with the Archbishop of Canterbury, they demanding that the king should banish Gaveston from the England. The barons forcefully convinced the king to accept this demand. They had a petition on which they demanded the signature or agreement of the king Edward II. Though King Edward II feels so much pain at his heart when he was signing the order of the banishment against his friend. Soon after this incident, Gaveston is being recalled with the consent of the barons. Actually, the barons wanted to kill Gaveston. This idea of killing was given by Queen Isabella herself to the barons. As Queen tells this matter at first younger Mortimer, Thereby, the other barons agreed also on this matter. But reconciliation of the king and the barons was to be short. A quarrel between the barons and the Gaveston soon created, which the king disturbed very much, because the king had thought the barons have changed their mind by the decision of recalling Gaveston again into the England. Now, after this incident, sometimes later, we have found a great war now begins between the King Edward II and the barons. At first, the barons able to capture Gaveston and soon beheaded Gaveston by one of them. He was Warwick. After that, on hearing the news of his friend Gaveston, the King Edward II now become very furious against the barons. Once again, after this incident, a great war now begins between the King Edward II and the barons. And in this time, the King Edward II was able to defeat the barons at the battlefield. This time, the king is able to capture all the barons, most of them, like Warwick, Lancaster, are executed under the order of the king, but their leader, namely younger Mortimer, sent to the Tower of London to be held as a prisoner there. Then, after we have found that younger Mortimer, he manages to escape from there and goes to France, and then join Queen Isabella, who is already there. Then combine together with the help of Sir John Hanault, probably then with the help of Sir John Hanault, they win the war against the King Edward II and capture the king. Then the trouble of the King Edward II becomes once more. But this instigated by Queen Isabella, and along with her younger Mortimer. He was also the responsible behind the king's murder. The queen was an ambitious and daring woman who wants to control entire kingdom without the king Edward II. He becomes very much jealousy by the ill treatment of the king Edward II, and at least now here she found an opportunity to revenge the insult which her husband treat her during the coming back of Gaveston into the England. Now she and Mortimer hatch a plot against the King Edward II. The king had been captured in Killingworth Castle. Two murderers, namely Matrevis and Garney, have shifted. That too means was the guard of the king. After that, Lightborn, who was his finest killer or murderer, arrives with a letter from the king for Martevis and Garney. From this letter, they give the responsibility of the king to Lightborn. This time, the king has been going a most difficult and painful times. His condition was awful and very much pitiful. They had tortured him very much. When Lightborn, after spending some time with the king, Lightborn asked Garney and Matrevis to keep a red hot raid ready for used against the king. After that, he murdered the king. Just then, King Edward the son, who was King Edward the third, became the king of England, and he revived all the situation and knows about the information that his father has been murdered by his own mother, Queen Isabella, and accompanied with younger Mortimer. The king ordered beheaded of younger Mortimer, and at the same time he sent his mother, Queen Isabella, to the countryside, the Tower of London. And in this way, the play is coming to an end. So, thank you so much for watching this video till the end. Again, I will discuss on a particular topic. Thank you.